that, I just want to take a minute and reintroduce. This is an amazing opportunity for Lumen Christi to have the Hansons on this program, because there are so many people going through the same thing. And a lot of people are falling into great depression, despair, addictions, and losses, greater losses than they already have, because they are not realizing there's help out there or turning to Christ for some stability. So we are offering this is a gift to the community today, to walk through their experience, and hopefully you'll glean something that you need to get through yours. Okay, so you're closing the door on this house where you've had how many years?
No, over there. 8 years?
Yes.
7, 8 years.
So you've established yourself in the community,
Yes.
and the neighbors and the friends, and you got to close that door. How did your kids deal with it?
I think it was toughest on the children, because they'd formed relationships, and we'd already had to move once and start over. And we thought that was going to be it.
Home.
This is home, and this is where we'll be. But that didn't quite happen. Through it, I have a strong faith, and so I always tried to find the good in it, and thought that maybe someday we'd be able to own our own home, not knowing how that would happen. But then renting for a while could be a good thing. We wouldn't have to pay when the washing machine went out, or pay for all those repairs. And so I kept trying to paint a good picture, but I think it was still really difficult. And inside, thinking about, especially after we moved and being in someone else's home, I think that's when I felt the loss the most. Is I wasn't free to let the children paint their room bright turquoise if they wanted to. And even though we did have a wonderful experience with our with the landlord, still it wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same.
So it was a house, it wasn't an apartment.
Correct.
So
Yep,
you
there was a
rented
house.
It was a very nice house, actually.
Yeah.
How long were you there?
A year and a half.
Right.
And then you hear about...
Then it got foreclosed on, actually.
Oh, I thought we were going to jump into this great blessing. So the house gets foreclosed on while you were living in it.
Right.
And how did the landlord approach you with that?
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
But, it was still, a foreclosure, and nothing that the landlord could do. So, then realizing that, gosh, this just isn't a very stable situation, and faced with children that have difficulty with change. Here we are changing again. And then being scared that, now, the rentals that we were looking at, there wasn't nearly enough room. The houses were much smaller, and just not quite sure of even some of the areas.
Very expensive.
And much more expensive than what we were just moving out of.
And you still have to approach a rental with last month's rent, all the necessary costs of a change, a move. Wow.
Yes.
So
yes.
they tell you it's time you have to be out.
Right.
Where did you go?
Well, we'd known Rick.
Okay, Rick
Yes.
Rosen,
Rick
And
Rosen.
we knew Rick.
And when we knew
friend of mankind.
And, I really feel, I just have to say that, the Lord put him in our lives. We thought he was just a wonderful man, a man full of integrity. You could tell. You could tell that. But then, he told us about, this program that he was, trying to start. And at first, we knew he was a good man, but it's kind of like, you know, how could,
This is
How,
too
wait a
how can
minute.
you do that?
Yes.
And I did. I actually sent him an email once upon a time when we were starting this that this all sounds very good, but after what I take it kind of personally, what I allowed to have happen to my family, I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to get my kids' hopes up. You know, and it just, I couldn't wrap my head around it at all.
I'm going to take a minute and summarize that program. The program that they're referring to is Investor Angels, and it is people who have maybe a surplus of money or real estate already, and they want to help the community. They will buy, perhaps, or they already own, property that's sitting vacant, and they'll make the necessary repairs and changes, and they are looking for people like the Hansons
Yes.
who are in need of a place. You lease it to own it for a year. In the meantime, Rick's organization helps you get your credit back up to snuff and teaches you some new techniques for better financial planning.
Right.
And then at the end of that first year, you begin the purchasing to own, the
Yes.
renting to own
To own
process.
our own home again.
So how long did it take from the beginning to the end to get in the house?
Well, actually, right now for our home, some of the repairs, you know, we're still in the process of doing some of the repairs, but really, it's maybe been about 3 months, 2 months. You know, looking for home. You know, I mean, you're
Looking at houses
at
and,
homes and finding the ones that
Investigating schools and neighborhoods and whatnot.
So you found one,
we found one.
and the couple that are your, like, an adopted family now, the people that own the house, their name?
Is Greg and Cindy Vorholt.
And I don't know if the camera can swing around and see them. I don't know if that's an impossibility or not, but possibly at the end, there's enough time that one camera could be put on them.
They're our angels.
They're your angels. They had this wonderful house. Where was the house?
It's in Sterling Heights.
Okay.
Yes, and actually back to Sterling Heights, where we came from. You know,
Yeah,
the
when we came
first-
down here, we started in Sterling Heights.
Yes.
Wow.
And so, and the children still enjoying that area. A lot of their friends, I think that they really feel like that was home.
It's kind of going home to them. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, when you were introduced to the program and you said, in disbelief, you sent this email wondering how can this be, and you were concerned that it might be
Absolutely.
something that will bring you and your family disappointment.
Absolutely.
And
Well,
there are
as you-
so many, you know, I don't mean to interrupt, but there are so many scams
Exactly.
out there. And, you know, you look at things and think, wait a minute, you know, this can't be possible. So somebody has to be doing something, you know, even if just kind of fishy. Maybe if it can happen, then maybe it's illegal. You know, and I don't want to be something, you know, I don't want to be involved in something like that.
And to begin with, not only is it an amazing program, almost too good to believe, but you knew the founder's integrity. And then he explained to you the whole process. And did you immediately think this is going to work for us? Or did you, as you got further into it, think, did you think that there were any possibilities of loss for you? It's a win-win, right?
I think he was a little bit more worried about it than what I was.
I was. Rick's an outstanding man. And at some point in time, and I can't tell you when it was exactly, I just had made up my mind that I believe in this man. And I'm not going to question it anymore. I'm going to do what he asks me to do or tells me to do, and we arrived.
So you're going through the journey, and you meet the people that own the house, and it's this wonderful marriage. Everybody's needs are being met. But one of the criteria for the program is going through one of the Christian Financial Planning series. How did you feel about that?
You know, for us, I think I felt that it was going to be good. That, you know, growing up, I never learned how to use money. You know, and I think that was their problem, is here we had a bunch of money and we didn't know how to use it. We didn't know how to save. So even at our age now, you know, I'm in my early 40s, there's still a lot of things I need to learn. And, you know, could this situation happen again? You know, if I keep using some of those those old skills that I had that got me there in the first place. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for us, you know, in just so many ways. You know, it's going to be able to teach us, you know, the pitfalls, you know, what things to watch out for, what things to do right. Mm-hmm. Also, it makes me feel that, you know, still feeling that guilt that I did this to myself. So, you know, why should I get this second chance? Why should somebody give me this second chance? But feeling that the Lord understands my humility and that it's a growing process. I can learn from that. And here's an opportunity for Him to show me in a Christian way what I can do to you know, better myself, and learn financially, you know, to be a better steward and, you know, just move forward so I'm not getting myself or putting my children, you know, in this position again. And not only am I learning, I get a home. Mm-hmm. You know, I get my own home again for my family.
It's such a wonderful program.
It is. It is. Yes, and on so many levels. You know, we're sitting here talking about it from our perspective, but I know one of the things that Greg and Cindy really liked about it is, yes, they, you know, they can invest their money in many places, and, you know, they can get a return on it. But with this, it's not just that financial return. They're able to help people who are in need. Mm-hmm. You know, and there are so many of us in need. And when we met, you know, that was one of the things that they expressed to us, is that what really attracted them to this program was that they had an opportunity to help another family.
I can't thank you enough, because it's a hard story. It's a hard story. It's a hard road to toe. But the blessing that came out is so encouraging for all of our viewers. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shayla.
Thank
and
you.
Thank your investor angels for coming to your rescue, and we encourage other people to do the same. In closing, Jeremiah 29, verse 11 through 14 is so rich in hope. For I know well the plans I have in mind for you, says the Lord. Plans for your welfare, not your woe. Plans to give you a future full of hope. When you look for me, you will find me. Yes, when you seek me with all your heart, you will find me with you, says the Lord, and I will change your lot. And a constant prayer for everybody who's in these kind of situations, just whisper, Jesus, I trust in you. And as always, remember to let Christ's light shine through you.